Now, we've talked a lot about backward bending in the Bikram Yoga series, but actually we spend just as much time in class doing forward bending. We do two types of forward bends in the Bikram Yoga series. One is called a front side compression. The other type of forward bend is a forward fold with a straight spine. So the two types of forward bends are actually quite different. The reason we do the front side compression is to really strengthen the abdominals, to compress the internal organs and give you a good stretch for your lower back. The reason we do a forward fold with a straight spine is to lengthen and traction your spine. So let's talk about the 4 key differences between the two types of forward bends, and then I'll show you an example of each one. The first thing you have to think about when you're doing a forward bend is, where are you bending? In a front side compression pose, the bend is happening really just above your belly button, so that you're really rounding into your spine. In a forward fold with a straight spine, the bend is happening from the hip joint, just hinging forward on that ball and socket joint. So that's the first difference. Where is the bend happening? The second difference is, what is the direction of my head and what's the direction of my tail? In a front side compression, my head and my tail are basically going to point toward the same direction. So in this case, my tail is down and the top of my head is also facing down. In a forward fold with a straight spine, my head and my tail are going to go in opposite directions. So in this case, my tail is going backwards and the top of my head is stretching forward. So they're going in two opposite directions. The third thing to think about is, what is being stretched in each type of forward bend? When we do the front side compression, we're really trying to stretch mainly into your lower back. You may also feel some stretching into your legs, but really what we focus on is the stretching of your lower back into your upper back and some into your shoulders. And a forward fold, we're really stretching the whole backside chain. So think of it from the back of your heels all the way to the top of the head. Everything is getting longer and everything is lengthening, especially in between each and every vertebra of your spine. The fourth thing we want to think about is, what muscles are you using? In a front side compression, we're really using the muscles of the abdominals. Think of like a strong stomach crunch. In a forward fold, we're using the muscle of the abdominals, but we're also using strong back muscles and strong shoulder muscles in order to keep the spine straight. So let's see an example of each of these types of forward bends. Let's start with the forward fold with a straight spine. The posture I'll show you is standing separate leg stretching. So I have my legs separated, arms out to the side and stomach in. So for this, I want to make sure I'm bending here at my hip joint and really using my back muscles to keep my spine straight. So big inhale in and coming down, nice straight spine, stomach pulled in, all the way down, all the way down. Once I get to the floor, I'm either going to put my hands on the floor or grab my feet. But the most important thing is, I'm not rounding my spine. I'm really pulling stomach in, pulling up on my shoulders, and eventually use my biceps to keep pulling. You'll see my tail is up toward the ceiling, top of my head is down toward the floor, and I'm getting a nice stretch all the way from my heels toward the top of my head. To come out again, really strong back, really strong front, and I lift up again with that straight spine. An example we do of a front side compression is standing separate leg, head to knee pose. So in this posture, I'll show it to you from the side. We start up straight and tall, and I'm going to bend not from my hip, but from my belly button. So really lifting up, tucking in, and then rolling down. So you'll see here my spine is really rounded, really pulling my stomach in and trying to get that nice stretch through my lower back. From here, I bend my knee, tuck chin to chest, and touch forehead to knee. Now you can see here that my tailbone is slightly down, the top of my head is definitely facing down. I'm getting a nice stretch through my lower back, and I'm really pulling my stomach in nice and strong. If I did this with a straight spine, it would look something like this, right? Which is a yoga posture you might find in other classes, but it's not the one that we're doing in the Bikram Yoga series. So again, I'm pulling my stomach in, really rounding from the belly button, and using those strong abdominals to keep my spine really lifted. Same leg come up, nice rounded spine to the top. So those are the two types of forward bends we do, front side compression and a forward fold with a straight spine. Notice if you were rounding your spine when it's supposed to be straight. Notice if you're straightening your spine when it's supposed to be rounded. And of course, our teachers will always help you figure out the difference between the two. If you have any questions, just post them below.